We love a good underdog story, right? And today we've got a real doozy for you.
Oh yeah, this is a head-scratcher, a real hidden gem.
We're going on an adventure to uncover one of the most unexpected retail success stories in the world.
The Aladdin's global adventure van is heading to China.
To explore the fascinating rise of a company called the Tubby Uncle Donglai, Uji in Chinese.
It's not some massive e-commerce platform or tech giant.
Nope, the Tubby Uncle Donglai is a supermarket chain.
Primarily operating in smaller cities, not exactly where you'd expect to find groundbreaking retail innovation.
But this is a deep dive, and trust me, this is not your average grocery store.
We're going to dig into what makes this seemingly ordinary chain such a national sensation in China.
And get this, they're even influencing the big dogs of retail. Listed companies like Wangyue Superstores.
Which begs the question, what's their secret sauce? Well, our source for today's deep dive is an episode of the Chinese podcast Xiandian Hutong FM 250.
Which translates to Money and Food Alley FM 250.
They did a fantastic episode all about the Tubby Uncle Donglai, calling it a Chinese business miracle from a fourth-tier city.
So throughout this episode, we'll be drawing on their insights to understand just what makes this company tick and why it's turning heads in the business world.
We're going to uncover their unique philosophy, their unconventional practices.
And see how they completely break the mold of traditional grocery retail.
Now, one of the things that grabbed our attention right away was their radical employee-first approach.
Yeah, remember how we teased that whole thing about an employee getting 10 times the compensation of a disgruntled customer?
Well, let's unpack that story because it perfectly illustrates their commitment to their staff. So a customer had an issue, a complaint.
And they received a pretty standard response, an apology, 500 RMB,
which is about 70 USD.
and a gift package of some of their products.
But here's where it gets interesting. The employee involved in the situation felt mistreated by the customer.
And you know what the Tubby Uncle Donglai did?
They gave the employee 5,000 RMB.
5,000? That's 10 times what the customer got.
It's a powerful statement, not just about fairness to employees, but about where their priorities truly lie.
It sends a message that they value their staff, they trust them, and they're willing to back them up, even when it means potentially upsetting a customer.
And this isn't just some PR stunt. Their employee-first philosophy is deeply ingrained in everything they do, like take their vacation policy, for instance.
4 days of paid annual leave.
40. Most companies would balk at that. But the Tubby Uncle Donglai takes it even further. They actually require employees to take a continuous 10-day leave for travel every year.
And they encourage everyone to share their experiences on the company internet. Photos, stories, the whole shebang.
So it's not just about time off. It's about actively encouraging personal growth and exploration, which I think is pretty cool.
And then there's the whole no overtime rule, and the fact that superior are strictly forbidden from contacting their subordinates outside of work hours.
But subordinates can contact their superiors if they need to, which is an interesting twist.
So they're basically saying, we respect your personal time, work stays at work.
This is a far cry from the always-on hustle culture that's so prevalent these days, and it really sets them apart.
Now, when the Tubby Uncle Donglai started advising Wangyue Superstores, a publicly listed company, the impact was immediate and significant.
Yeah, the very day the partnership was announced and a pilot store started implementing their philosophy, customer traffic went through the roof.
And get this, Yonghui's market value jumped by 2.2 billion RMB that same day.
This is around 320 million US dollars.
So clearly, investors were impressed. They saw the potential of this different approach.
So how did this seemingly ordinary supermarket chain achieve such remarkable success and influence?
Well, it all goes back to the vision of the founder, Mr. Yu, affectionately known as the Tubby Uncle.
And that nickname is actually quite significant. You see, early on, Mr. Yu established a powerful guiding principle for his business, using genuine products to win genuine hearts.
In Chinese, that's Ujisushia. And this commitment to authenticity started from the very beginning with their first store, which was actually called Wangyue Lou Pangzi Store, Uguzhiju.
Back in the 90s in China, counterfeit goods were a big problem. So to set themselves apart, Mr. Yu decided to make a bold statement. They stamped every single cigarette pack they sold with their store's name and promised tenfold compensation if anyone found a fake.
It was a risky move, but it paid off big time. Their reputation for selling only genuine products spread quickly, and pretty soon, authentication centers stopped even bothering to check goods from Wangyue Lou Pangzi's store. They knew they could trust them.
And this focus on quality extended to their employees as well. From the very beginning, Mr. Yu paid his staff significantly higher wages than the industry average, double in some cases.
It was a clear signal that he valued their contributions and wanted to create a workplace where people felt respected and appreciated.
But their journey hasn't been without its challenges. In 1998, a devastating fire ripped through their main store, causing significant damage and, tragically, claiming the lives of 8 hotel guests who were staying on the second floor.
And to make matters worse, they had just sold a huge number of shopping vouchers before the fire, so they were facing a potential financial crisis.
Rumors even started circulating that Mr. Yu might try to skip town and avoid honoring the vouchers.
But he did the exact opposite. He publicly announced that they would honor every single voucher. And get this, almost no one came to redeem them.
Instead, customers showed up offering their support, saying they would hold on to their vouchers and use them when the store reopened.
They believed in Mr. Yu and his commitment to doing the right thing, and within a few months, they were back in business. Stronger than ever.
The fire was a turning point for Mr. Yu. It deepened his sense of responsibility to his employees, his customers, and the wider community. And when it came time to rebuild and rehire after the fire, he made some unconventional decisions. Instead of just filling the positions they needed, they hired 70 new employees when they had only planned for 40.
And they went above and beyond to support those who couldn't join the team due to illness, even covering their medical expenses.
And get this, they even started giving 100 RMB and a gift package to unsuccessful job applicants, just to thank them for their time and effort.
It's unheard of, right?
Totally, but it speaks volumes about their respect for every individual who interacts with their company.
Now, in 2002, they opened their flagship store, Yu Donglai Life Plaza, Yushusu. And in their first year, they achieved a staggering 500 million RMB in sales.
Remember, this is in Zhucheng, a relatively small city, and they were competing head-to-head with global giants like Walmart and Carrefour.
And winning, because they understood their customers. They built a reputation for quality and trust.
And they went above and beyond to create a truly exceptional shopping experience. To strengthen their position further, the tubby Uncle Donglai formed a 4-party alliance for Ping with other regional retailers.
This allowed them to pool their resources and gain more bargaining power with suppliers.
But their approach to suppliers was very different from the usual cutthroat tactics of the retail industry. They believed in building strong, sustainable relationships, even offering support to their suppliers during periods of high demand.
It was a win-win for everyone involved. But their commitment to quality and their people sometimes meant making tough decisions, like when they expanded to another city, Xinxiang.
Between 2013 and 2015, they actually closed all their stores in Xinxiang. And it wasn't because they were losing money. They closed because they felt they couldn't consistently maintain the high standards of service and employee well-being that they had set for themselves.
They prioritized their principles over profits, and that's a rare thing to see. Now, a crucial part of their success has been their focus on information and transparency.
They view the 21st century as the information era, and they believe in empowering their customers with as much information as possible.
So they go to great lengths to make sure everything is clear, easy to understand, and readily available.
For example, the ambient lighting in their stores is deliberately dimmer than the lighting focused on the products, so your attention is drawn to the merchandise.
And they don't have any paid advertising cluttering up the aisles. It's all about keeping the focus on the products themselves.
Their electronic price tags are a prime example of their commitment to transparency. They don't just show the price, they also display detailed product information.
Like the origin, the supplier, quality inspection details, even the contact information of the specific inspector who signed off on it.
They categorize chili peppers not just by name, but by their spiciness level and recommended uses.
They label fruit with its sweetness level sources so you know exactly what you're getting.
For their in-house products, they even display real-time sales rankings on big screens, giving customers objective guidance based on what's popular.
And they don't stop there. Before you even enter the restrooms, there's information on which stalls are empty and their cleaning status.
And in some cases, they even reveal their own purchase price for an item alongside the selling price, showing their profit margin.
They're basically saying, we're being totally upfront with you, no hidden costs. It's a level of transparency you just don't see in most retail environments.
But they're not just pushing information out, they're also incredibly proactive in gathering and acting on customer feedback. Employees are empowered to solicit feedback from customers, and they take every complaint seriously.
They've been known to conduct incredibly detailed investigations into customer disputes, producing lengthy reports and offering significant compensation when warranted.
Like in one instance, they gave a 100,000 RMB reward to a customer who pointed out a serious issue with one of their products, and then they compensated every other customer who had purchased that same product.
It's about taking responsibility and making things right. And it's not just about the big things, they sweat the small stuff too.
Weighing scales that start at -10 grams to account for the weight of the plastic bag. The instruction to double bag even small items.
They're constantly looking for ways to improve the customer experience, even in the smallest details.
Now, in their seafood section, they ensure proper drainage and label products with "We don't sell water."
In the fruit section, they have a really innovative system for labeling cut fruit. They actually tell you the order in which you should eat the pieces to maximize the sweetness.
So you eat the less sweet pieces first, and each bite gets progressively sweeter.
It's brilliant. And their prepared foods and baked goods sections are hugely successful. Why?
Because they have a strict policy of marking down and disposing of any items that don't sell within a certain time frame.
They'd rather take a loss than sell stale products. It's about quality above all else.
And all of this stems from Mr. Yu's core belief in love and freedom.
Those are his two guiding principles. He views them as the most precious things in life, and he brings that philosophy into everything he does.
Which is remarkable because as businesses grow, they often lose sight of their original ideals. But Mr. Yu has remained steadfast in his commitment to these principles.
And that's why he's deliberately kept the tubby Uncle Donglai relatively small. He doesn't want to compromise his vision just to chase profits.
He sees the company as more than just a business. It's a school for growth, for his employees, for his customers, for the community.
And his long-term vision is to see stores like the tubby Uncle Donglai's all over China, 10,000 of them.
Not necessarily his own stores, but stores that share his philosophy of putting people and principles first.
Now, replicating this model is proving to be incredibly difficult, even for large, well-resourced companies like Wangyue, because it's not just about copying their tactics. It's about embracing their entire ethos.
It's about creating a culture where every employee feels valued, respected, and empowered.
And where every customer feels like they're being treated fairly and honestly.
And it's about sweating the small stuff. The wet sponge for opening produce bags, the thoughtfully designed restrooms.
It's all these little things that add up to create a truly exceptional experience.
And the results speak for themselves. The tubby Uncle Donglai is currently the most profitable provincial supermarket brand in China.
Despite their smaller scale, it's proof that you can do well by doing good.
So what's the takeaway for you, our fellow adventurer?
Well, the tubby Uncle Donglai demonstrates that true success isn't just about profit margins and market share.
It's about building a business that is grounded in genuine care and respect for your employees and your customers.
It's about being transparent in everything you do, and it's about never losing sight of your core values, even when things get tough.
So as you go about your day, your week, think about the tubby Uncle Donglai. Could their approach work in your industry?
What small changes could you make to create a more human-centered workplace?
It's food for thought.
And that's what Aladdin's Global Adventure is all about, expanding our horizons, challenging our assumptions.
And discovering hidden gems of inspiration from all corners of the world.
So keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep adventuring. Who knows what you might uncover?
Until next time, happy adventuring.
And as always, thanks for listening.
We really appreciate you joining us on this journey.
We'll see you on the next adventure.
Bye for now.
Safe travels.
And happy shopping.
Especially if you're lucky enough to find a tubby Uncle Donglai near you.
It's an experience you won't soon forget.
We'll see you next time.
Take care. Bye.